Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero and pop culture. So that's movies, TV shows, video games. We do speculation and news, all that good stuff. And of course, I am Mode Poupée, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the video game designer, anime expert, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, what's going on, man? Is your head still attached after after seeing what you saw?
I had my nerdgasm multiple times in that movie.
That's
Multiple times.
and the movie you're referring to, of course, being Spider-Man: No Way Home, the much anticipated, and in honor of that movie being released, and of course, and of course the Hawkeye episode 5 being overshadowed. Calling this episode Spidey Shatters Dimensions and the Box Office. That's and you'll know why if you've been paying any kind of attention. We are going to forego for this episode talking about the news because what news is going to be more important than talking about Spider-Man: No Way Home? And of
Yes.
course, but we are going to review Hawkeye episode 5, the penultimate episode of the Disney Plus series, and then we're going to do a good spoilery talk about No Way Home. So you guys strap in and let's get ready. Let's do this, Lottie.
hmm
So Hawkeye episode 5. It's the episode that the directors were like, "This is gonna blow up the internet," and they weren't wrong. They weren't wrong about it.
Yeah, for only
Yeah.
24 hours.
Well, in the previous episode, there was some. There's a lot of fun. Like I had a lot of fun in the fourth episode, and so the fifth episode, I was like, how can you get more than before? With the whole fighting Echo and you laying on the rooftop and everything like that. It was, I mean, just really cool. So what is this? Fifth episode. What could it possibly do to top it? And they're just like, what they say, what the kids say nowadays, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer.
I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you think about the episode, Lottie?
Well, before I get into the non-spoiler part, I do want to give everybody in the audience a FYI. You know my phrase that I say, someone better pick up that
Oh
phone
yeah,
because I
somebody.
fucking called it.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna say that very multiple times. I'm gonna say that quite a few times in this episode, in this podcast, because there's a lot of things that I called in this episode and the Spider-Man movie. So just keep that in mind. But to go into the non-spoilers, this is probably the best episode. This is probably by far the best episode of this show. I A lot of people might say episode 4 was better, but I loved episode 3 because I felt like all the characters were having their like Golden Globe or Oscar moment. The acting was absolutely superb. Like every single person from everyone that I was just going like, God dang, did they just take an acting pill? Does my baby showing up on stage just make everybody a better actor? Because she is fine. So maybe when they see her on stage, they're all like, oh, hey, maybe we should step up our acting game. And of course, we all know who my baby is. It is that short, beautiful Black Widow with the blonde hair.
Yeah,
Mm,
good old Yelena, played
good
played
old
played
Yelena.
by the immensely talented Florence Pugh, and I say it,
Jesus
she is
Christ.
immensely talented. She's one to keep an eye on in Hollywood. Trust. So
I kind of said some blasphemous words on this podcast a week ago saying she didn't look as good. Blasphemy because she shows up next episode. God, I was like, I'm man, listen, that's that baby. Oh, I've never had this type of a crush on a actress ever. Like I am messed up about this chick. Like real talk. Like God.
it's like in this in this episode, Ladi loses his shit.
Yes, like
You
real
know, and
talk,
look,
man.
here's my thing. It's like I totally get where you're coming from. She's that and everything. You know, I've been a fan of Florence Pugh for a couple years now. I think she's just an excellent actor, and I think she really brings Yelena to life. I thought she was one of the best things about the Black Widow movie. And then we only got a
Yep.
little glimpse of her in the previous episode. So really, this was an episode where she showcased who Yelena is. You know,
Yep.
we learned some things. We learned some things about her. You know,
Yep.
we know some things about her. And I think you're right. The addition of Yelena into the story does have the other characters step their game up. In particular, Haley Steinfeld plays opposite of her in a particular scene. And I think Haley Steinfeld, I've been telling you, she's legit. She's for
Hmm.
real. She's a great actor. And you get to see that. You get to see that on display here. Um, in addition, you get to see her and Clint with each other. Jeremy Renner gets some good stuff to do. This is not an action, really action oriented episode. Not really. We get some. We do get a good fight scene later on. There's a lot of humor in this episode, which I think
Hmm.
this series in general has been pretty funny, but it's been much more lighthearted, even though there's some serious things going on in here. Um, and then you know, some of the things we've speculated on about what's actually going on, who really killed Echo's dad and all that other stuff. I think that's more or less been hinted at. And then of course we got that big reveal that, and I think right now, like I said, I like this the thing is, I like this episode. I did not love it, but I liked it. There's the love parts of it were Florence Pugh getting to just be Elena for a good
Yeah.
part of the episode.
It was
And
like it's like, what it was like a I fucking arrived type moment. Like, I'm here, bitches, and I'm about to take this show over type
right.
shit.
And
Like, she just captured the camera. It was like literally like watching poetry in motion.
yeah, it's mostly about her talking, and talking with Kate Bishop, and um just her being her, even like down to her fashion, what she wears, how she presents herself. Like she's a killer, but she's also like, in a way, she's still kind of as much of a kid as Kate is.
Mm.
And so much as she's early in her early 20s, whatever. And that's good stuff. And then you get, um, I think you start getting more of a vibe about what Eleanor Bishop is about, and maybe where this is actually going. And you get more from Echo, and you see how legit she is as a combatant, and then you see that Hawkeye, for why he is who he is and why he's one of the most dangerous people in the world. And so it makes you wonder about, like, the big bad in this. If you've been wondering who the hell is the big bad, you find out. And so I liked it, didn't love it, but it's not my favorite episode. I know a lot of people think they think it's their favorite. And I get why you would. I felt like the as much as I like the scene between Yelena and Kate maybe went on a little long, and there there could have been a little bit more Clint in the episode, and maybe a little more action. But we got that one good fight scene, so I'll take it. Overall, I liked it. So we just got a few spoilers to talk about. Just if you're not if you're not with spoilers, you can roll out. But we have to talk about the big elephant in the room, right?
So
These are spoilers
this
right
is
here.
where this is where I'm going to say my first one. Someone better pick up that phone. Cause I fucking called it. I knew that chick, Kate's mom, from the first episode. I was like, this bitch fishy. Mm,
She's sus. She mad
she is
sus.
fishy. And she gave it all away in episode 4. When I was like, hold up, Like we talked about this on the podcast. I was like, hold up, you're in charge of a defense like
Yes, a
company,
security company.
and
Yeah,
your daughter is literally getting props from fucking Hawkeye, and you're gonna treat like you're gonna be a fucking bitch to. I was like, something's fishy, something's wrong. Like this is
she
like,
don't want him around. Because she's
yeah,
scared.
because like I said, like it just like it doesn't like that whole thing just threw me off. Everybody was telling me, well, maybe she doesn't want her daughter hurt. I'm like, I said this is literally like imagine if Pepper's daughter got a chance to go to Wakanda and she acted like a bitch to what's his name?
To T'Challa.
To T'Challa. It is literally like that. This is the exact thing. And you know damn well Pepper would not do that to T'Challa. So I was like, there's something the fuck wrong. There's something wrong. And I was like, I knew from the very beginning of the episode, I'm like, this woman acted too cool. Somebody got killed and she's like, eh.
Yeah, well, she was already sus from the beginning because
Yeah.
she had had that heated conversation with Armand, and then he ends up dead, knifed, right?
Yep.
And then the question is Jack, is he a patsy? Has he been set up? I don't think he is. I think that he is actually the swordsman because it just makes too much sense, and he's actually named the name of the guy who's the swordsman in the comics. But I think was anyone expecting to see Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk? Which, by the way, for this week, that should be the theme of this whole damn episode: is worst kept secrets.
Yeah, we
Absolutely
all knew the
worst kept
campaign.
secrets.
We all knew
Worst
he.
kept
Well, yeah,
secrets. We've been
actually,
talking about we've been talking about this
yes,
shit for months about
yeah,
is Charlie Cox and all blah 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 all that right, and
Epic
and and
first
and,
guy
and
on.
these people just like lying on Twitter and social media and interviews lying about everything, and then what we said we didn't even see him. We saw a picture of him straight out of Daredevil,
Yeah,
standing there talking to and Yelena's like, and you see Yelena coming to the light, like, well, maybe this is some bullshit. Maybe Hawkeye really didn't have anything to do with this, right? And you got Echo having seeds of doubt planted in her mind about Kazi and was he like in on her dad getting killed and stuff like that. So all the people that are supposed to be on the up and up, of course, they're suspect as hell. The only people we can really trust in this bitch are Hawkeye, or is Clint, Kate, uh, what's her name, Yelena, and
yeah,
and then of course Echo. That's it. Everybody else is suspect as shit. So
yep.
that was the internet breaking thing. And need I remind you, what do I always say? I say this all the time about Kevin Feige and the people over at Marvel. They are the smoothest criminals in the game right now. I'm telling you, they know exactly what to fucking do. It's true. It's clear. This is a gigantic master plan. Doctor Evil couldn't have devised a more intricate master plan.
Hmm.
We are lucky that Kevin Feige doesn't want to take over the world and hold it ransom for $100 billion. We're lucky because this man could do it. Do you see? Do you see?
Hmm.
Do you see the layers upon layers upon layers that are at work right now? If
Yep.
Kingpin from the Daredevil show is in the day before No Way Home, what does that mean about what we're going to see in No Way Home? Like this, like you talk. You ever heard that they talk about galaxy brain? This is some galaxy brain shit, and
Yep.
I'm there for it. This wasn't my favorite Hawkeye episode, but man, it did some shit.
Yep.
It did some shit, and now I'm just like, oh, this sixth episode is about to go down. You know, I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised if Charlie Cox rolled out. If Charlie Cox showed up in episode 6, would you be surprised? Like at
At this
all?
point, when it comes to Marvel, the only thing that would surprise me if the Juggernaut showed up.
He's like,
At this point.
It's like I'm the juggernaut, bitch, just passing through.
Just passing through. That's the only thing that was surprising.
I tell you, if Deadpool could roll up, and I'd be like, of course he showed up. Why wouldn't he?
Of course. Well,
What?
why wouldn't
Why
it?
wouldn't he?
Swords and guns?
I
It's
mean,
just that's porn to him.
or if, for you in particular, this is Hit Monkey rolls out. It's like somebody called an assassin. It's just- I'm telling you, no, I will say this. I love it. I love that Netflix is getting pulled in. What does this mean? Like, how much of Netflix is getting pulled in? Who all is coming back? And dang it, Feige, this just one step. If you took that step, take two more towards Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's all I'm asking. Just two
Yes,
more towards Agents of
please.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Or towards not just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all of the other Fox and Disney TV stuff. The Runaways, all
Yeah.
of that stuff. So, y'all, we're living in a golden age, a time of unbelievable wonder when one studio can literally make movies the way comic book companies have made event comics and shared universe comics for decades. I don't think you got to be a certain age to understand that was impossible. It was impossible
Yeah.
20 years ago. No one would believe. If you told yourself, if you were alive then, 20 years ago, you said one day there's not just going to be a movie with Spider-Man and Avengers and stuff like that. There's also going to be a TV show, and the movies and the TV show are going to cross over, right? If you
Yeah.
said that, I would have looked at my future self and said, said you're an imposter from the future. You're obviously a crazy person. Someone lock
Get,
him up. No
get
way
ye
that
behind me,
happens.
Satan.
But it's happening, y'all. And Hawkeye's the first one to really kind of show shit's going down. So good episode. Not great in my eyes, but good episode. And man, I'm waiting for it. I can't wait for that season finale this week. So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on this the episode of Hawkeye. You guys get out there and watch that if you haven't. If you have, what did you think about it? And what do you think about our comments on this particular episode? Get down to the comments, let us know what you think. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And I'm sure in the coming the coming days we're gonna have a lot to say about Hawkeye. It's shaping up to be a monumental, monumental, but like a kind of a trend-setting show, and I hope maybe we'll get another season. So we shall see. All right, so now it's time for the main event.
Yes.
We're gonna do non-spoilers because this is a huge,
Because y'all
huge, huge.
suck.
Yeah, well, it's just a huge thing, and not everyone's seen it and everything. So, but we are going to talk about Spider-Man: No Way Home. Long awaited, should have come out a year ago, but it came out this year. You know what? The pandemic sucks, but I firmly believe that this movie is better for having had an extra year to work on it.
Yes.
I'm certain of it. Not only
They
that,
scrapped part of the I remember they scrapped part of the script last year.
yeah, there's I think one extra year. The pandemic gave them an extra year, and they used it. They used the hell out of it. We've been talking about this for over a year now. Before we even started doing the supercast, me and Ladi were talking about this, and people have been speculating. Who's going to be in it, and there's these people lying about their involvement in it. There's just all sorts of stuff. You've heard us talking about it. Leaked photos and insiders talking about and all sorts of stuff, and so now finally the time has come. Movie came out. We got a chance to check it out. A lot of people got a chance to check it out. As of this recording, it is going to have the third highest weekend premiere of any movie ever. Like domestic, I'm talking about. Domestically speaking, and domestic being U.S., it is getting an estimated $253 million for the weekend. And look, the only things that are beating it are Infinity War and Endgame. Those are the only ones that from Friday through Sunday have gotten more money in one single weekend. Let that rattle around in your head. You know, like that's
Can I
that.
take a hot take real quick?
Yeah, go
Spider-Man should be making more money than them.
ahead. That is a very hot take. Uh, the fact that it's going to be number 3 on the list. Let me. It's an epic win. Epic win.
Yeah.
There is no. You can't split any hairs about this. This is a movie that if it weren't a pandemic year, if this was not 2019, this movie would literally be making $2 billion. And not I'm not saying it's gonna make 2 billion, but if it might come close, that amount of money in 3 days is ridiculous. Especially for, I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. Obviously, it's multiverse. There's a lot of characters, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
In the pandemic year itself, it by far is the biggest box office winner. 253 million ain't nothing close to that. The next closest one is less than $100 million. So absolutely epic win. Well deserved
Technically
too.
made their money back.
Oh, trust me when I say they worldwide, and this is by the way, they are not going to be in China. That's why it's not going to get to 2 billion. It may get to 1 billion, but it's not going to get to 2 billion because no
I
China.
feel sorry for every single one of you people in China.
Well,
Let's pour. Let's
right.
have a moment of silence and pour one for them. Cause man, Jesus.
Well,
Whew.
what's happening is that China and Marvel are sort of at odds a little bit right now, just a little
That's
bit.
despicable. Ugh,
No Marvel movie has made it into China this year.
despicable.
So I mean, it's fine. They're gonna make their money. This is an epic win. Uh, you've heard a lot. It's got like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got an A+ audience score. This is, you know, at a top. If we're talking about tiers, S tier movie in the
Yeah,
MCU.
S
It's an
tier,
S tier
S
movie.
tier, S
So
tier,
yeah,
S tier.
like keep all of that in mind. So this is, I'm setting all this up so we understand before we start actually talking about the movie itself that this is a movie, a culmination of 20 years of work by Marvel and Sony and all that stuff. And it's historical and it's epic and it's a huge feather in the
M-
cap of everybody involved. So and
Yeah, massive
congratulations to them.
celebration.
Yeah, congratulations to
Massive
all of them, and
celebration, man.
congratulations to the fans because this is about us too. This is about us too. That they delivered a product that everyone liked, and we're going out and rewarding that. So hats off to the fans too, and you're what you guys enjoy it. We enjoy it. So that said, Lottie, you just saw this today. I saw it a few days ago. You just saw this today. Your non-spoiler thoughts on the movie.
First of all, guys, if I had a pop off counter of how many times I popped off during that movie, or the people that surrounded me popped off, man, that counter would have broke. And here's another thing. I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. I told Maurice that I'm watching the movie Sunday at 3 o'clock. And he was like, "Oh, you should get your tickets early." I was like, I'll be fine. Told Femi about it Saturday. Femi was like, "When are we watching the movie?" I said, "At 3 o'clock Sunday." He's like, it'll be fine. I told him it'll be fine. He said, "I'm getting tickets now." I'm like, you don't have to get them now. He's like, "I'm going to get them now." I show up to that movie theater. Listen, I have never seen Tallahassee movie AMC movie theater so damn packed before. God, I mean, it has been years since I've seen Tallahassee's mall parking lot, that damn packed. Like, God dang, that parking lot
The
was
last time
packed.
I can tell you the last time was Endgame.
Jesus Christ, that parking lot was packed, man. Man, so we got we listen, that movie, Uh,
Wait, so you were at
mm.
I'm going to assume that you were in a almost completely full auditorium.
Oh yeah, there was only one seat
Yep.
available,
That
and it was right next to
and
me.
I can guarantee you, since Thursday, pretty much the only ones I saw that weren't like that were like the 3D showings, and even then they
Because
were
nobody wants to. Yeah,
yeah
because
nobody
nobody
wants to.
wants to watch fucking 3D.
But pretty
But
much every other showing was like that.
man, listen,
When Jen and I went on Thursday, we went to the Dolby Theater, the Dolby Theater. So it's one of the bigger. It's not the biggest. IMAX theater is the biggest, but it's one of the biggest theaters in the whole Cineplex, and it was packed, absolutely packed. So and I was like, I checked every other showing to see like if there were seats available. Every other showing that day was packed, and every showing on Friday was packed. This is like I was saying, they made all the money this weekend. So anyway, your review.
if I can get the words out, guys, I am an absolute Spider-Man fanboy, and I'll admit
So
the last
wait.
few,
So would you say you're a Spider Stan?
I'm beyond the Spider Stan, beyond that. I have watched every single Spider-Man media there is. Seriously. Every single one. If it's a Spider Man cartoon, seen it. Spider Man movie, seen it. Animated movie, seen it. Video game, played it. I am a Spider Man, like, absolute fanboy stan. Whatever you want to call it, I am it. And I admit, I have not been too impressed with the last Spider Man outing. Far From Home was a decent movie in my opinion, but it wasn't what I will put as the standard of Spider Man. This movie right here completely shattered. I won't even shatter. Annihilated, disintegrated, obliterated my expectations. My expectations for this movie was high. And all that shit got blown straight out the water. I thought this movie was going to be a good Spider-Man movie. I didn't think this shit was going to be an all-time great superhero movie type. Like, it may not be the greatest, but it isn't the all-time great. It is a all-time great movie. It's like you said, S tier, no argument. Don't even argue about it being because we did it. We did a thing about where each Marvel movie will be rated on a tier list. It's S tier. Don't even argue about it. If any of you in this comment wants to comment about this, I will come to that comment section and word fight you till you submit because that movie is S tier and I don't want to hear nothing about it. S tier movie. So, God, everything about the movie was good, man. The setup, the the rise in action, the climax, the fall in action, the rest, every single thing about that movie was jaw dropping great. Like I really like a couple of like superhero movies. I felt like they took a little long doing certain things. I feel like this Spider-Man movie, everything showed up where I wanted it to show up. You know what I mean? Everything happened the way I wanted. It was just like there's very few times that I could call a movie and I'm not and this is not calling a movie in a bad way. It was like calling a movie in a good way. Like I would want this to happen in this movie and they fucking did it. Like it amazed me that literally I was like if they do this in this movie, I'll be fucking in love with it. And they just kept doing it. And I was just like, did these people read my mind? Did Kevin Feige go into my mind and say, hey, what does every Spider-Man stan want in this movie? Put it. Make it happen. Cause man, I mean, boy, I am fired up. Man, listen. God, this movie was good. I am so excited for the future of Spider-Man. Man, the future of Spider-Man is not just bright. It is a fucking supernova. God.
You that is a hot. You see here the hot take, literal hot take. I feel you, man, dude. This is fan service at its absolute best, and fan service that does not sacrifice a good story, a good yarn. So I've heard people call this the culmination of Spider-Man's origin in the MCU. That the Spider-Man trilogy in the MCU, is his origin story, and
Yep.
and this is the start. It starts so you can understand who he is. Um, yeah, all of that, everything. Look, we talked about it for so long that of course, we were hyped up. And we were trying to temper our expectations, but there's no way you can temper your expectations with all of the hype going into this. And thank God it lived up to the hype. Like
Hmm.
I'm just happy that I didn't come out of it thinking, "Oh man, they missed an opportunity." There's no missed opportunity here.
No,
This movie is something for everybody. If you are an old school Spider-Man fan,
you'll love it.
this is you. This is for you. If you've only seen, you casually seen a few of the movies, it's for you.
Yep.
If you like the MCU, it's for you. If I mean,
Yep.
like literally, there's no person this isn't for. It
Yep.
touches a little bit of everything, you know. Uh, I mean, there's a ton of like high tier acting in this.
Yep.
It's melodramatic at times because it's a fucking comic book movie and that's what they do. But Tom Holland is phenomenal in this. He is taking all of the punches. He's getting all the moral dilemmas thrown at him. He's getting all of the shit thrown at him, and he's acting his ass off in this. Acting his ass off in this. All of the support, Zendaya and Jacob Batalon, just they're great where they are. Benedict Cumberbatch as Strange, great. All of the bad guys. There's so much good done with these bad guys. If you felt like any of the bad guys weren't done right by in their movies, hey, guess what? They fixed that shit, right?
My goodness.
Like the most glaring fix was Electro, right?
Yep.
And it's great. You know what? Did you feel like there was a missed opportunity with Amazing Spider-Man and the way they treat the villains? Oh, hey, they fix it. What about and Spider-Man 3? They fixed that too. Like there's no here's the thing, there's no fat in this either. There's no fat in this movie. This is every time you think, "Oh, they're going to slow down," right? Nope. Nope.
Yep.
Even when they quote slow down, there's still shit happening. Like
Yep.
it's it's the sort of movie where fan service and just a good story work hand in hand in a way that no hater can even fucking bitch about. There's no if you're a hater of Marvel or the MC and you hate on this movie, it's just that. It's just hating because it ain't
Yeah.
about quality of the story or movie or anything like that.
Yep.
It gimmicky? Yes, this movie is very gimmicky, but that doesn't mean it's bad. That one the gimmick is there's a multiverse, which means you can do fucking anything, and they do a lot of anything. It's really great. Now there are some stuff that happens later on in the movie that are spoilers, and in the interest of not screwing up people's surprises, we won't talk about them here. But if you've been following any of the speculation, it's going to lead you around to where you think it's going to go. At the end of it, there's major changes. This is a movie where things actually at the end of the day, there's major things that happen. There's major changes. There's a major status quo shakeup. All of that stuff, and there's hope for the future, right? As you said,
Hmm.
you're excited for the future. This movie, I think, I don't want to say it's revitalized Spider-Man, not in the sense that no one liked Spider-Man or that it was out of fashion or any of that stuff. No, not in that sense. It's revitalized it in the sense that people look at Spider-Man as a brand as an exciting, a dynamic brand where there's so much potential. Where you people really realize things that you and I have been saying and talking about for years that there are thousands of characters for Spider-Man, right? Just for Spider-Man, and
Yep.
that they can have their own little Sony verse and still have Spidey in the MCU. Which, by the way, this movie and the last no, Far From Home and No Way Home, I guarantee you are the reason that Sony and Marvel are going to be making Spider-Man movies together for the next 15 or 20 years. Guarantee
Yeah.
it because together they have made done more with Spider-Man than Sony ever did on its own. That just those three movies have together done more for Spider-Man than Sony did on their own. And Sony loves money and they're not stupid. They're sitting on a gold mine, and as long as Kevin Feige and Marvel are involved in it, their shit's gonna be good. And they get to have their cake and eat it too. They can have their Spider Verse to one side that can cross over whenever they feel like it, and they still have, the MCU Spider Man stuff. So they get to piggyback off the MCU and still do their Spider Verse thing. It's like, look, what a great time to be a Spider Man fan.
Oh yeah.
If you are just getting into Spider Man, you lucky motherfucker because you have jumped in the water and the water is great. It is great right now. If you are an old school fan and you've been disillusioned, this is a great time too. Because all of your hopes and dreams about where they could have taken Spider-Man, trust, they're about to do it. That, like, when we get into spoilers, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, this is a great movie, a great superhero movie. It's satisfying. If you like any superhero shit at all, you're gonna love this movie. And I don't really have any real complaints. There, if I have any complaints, it'll be there's a slight pacing issue in the third act for me, but it's a quibble. It's a very much of a nitpick. So just I loved it. Go see it. Go see it multiple times. For me, I'm gonna go pre-order on 4K because fuck if I don't have this damn movie in my collection as soon as I can. So
Yep.
yeah, woo.
So yeah, guys.
I'm getting heated over here.
So yeah, guys, if you have not seen the movie, please get out of here and go watch this movie.
Yeah, get out and
respectively. Get out of here and watch that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Go watch the movie. Do not get spoiled by us because we're about to get into it. Spoilers right now.
Yeah, this is about to be a huge dump of spoilers because
Yeah.
I could barely hold them.
Let's get the smaller ones out of the way. Motherfucking Matt Murdock. Oh my god! Oh my god! My dude and the Brit catch. Let me first of all, well, I jumped real ahead of that. The first 5 minutes of this movie are ridiculous. The first because it literally picks up right from the previous movie, and the reaction to all of that, and to suddenly becoming a celebrity, a notorious celebrity, and everything, and I mean, it was all really great. I love the way that happened, but the cap it off with Matt Murdock showing up to represent Peter Parker. I was like, y'all, what I say, smooth criminals.
Yeah.
I dare you to find another group of producers that are doing anything that fucking. I mean, it's ballsy in the sense that they're straight up saying, "Look, we can do whatever we want right now. Literally, can do whatever we want. We can sit there and send people out to fucking lie to you for a year." Charlie Cox has been lying a year about this, right?
And he shows up in the first 5 fucking minutes of the movie.
And that's all. That's the thing about this movie. That's huge. And you forget about it by the time you get to the end of the movie. Am I wrong? You forget. You're just like, oh yeah, Charlie Cox did show up. Charlie Cox did show up in this movie. What the? I forgot about that, man. And I'm telling you. And look. Remember Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Right, the day before Hawkeye,
the Kingpin.
And so I'm just like, yeah, y'all ain't slick. I see what y'all. I'm peeping the game. Right now, man.
So how did you do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
I loved it. Absolutely loved that. It just tells you all of that shit we've been talking about the rumors for no new Daredevil and all that stuff. Man, if it's not true, well, fuck it. It's all true. I'm saying it.
It's 100% true.
It's 100%. It's true. So and Feige, man, I'm telling you, he's fucking evil genius level right now.
Yeah, and then we need to give a shout out. Shout out to all the damn photo leakers. All of y'all credibility got questioned, but you guys were 100% fucking right. Every single leak photo was 100% true. Shout out to all the leakers out there. Because, my God, I noticed them immediately. When I saw the set, I was like, wasn't that a leaked photo?
Yeah. Absolutely.
they,
Yeah, this and
they,
this giant freaking I'll name them giant freaking robot and Grace Randolph and John Campia and there I mean there's a bunch of others they were on top of it you know
yeah.
they or Murphy's Universe he was on top of it those guys were the question is do you want that though I mean for you and I we'll speculate we'll have fun anyway but do we really want that that's a good question for another day but something to think about. Like, how much do you want to preserve this particular experience? I guess
See,
is the question.
there's certain things I don't want to be leaked. Like, this movie didn't need not to have a leak in it because Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield signed contracts with the MCU. So it was trying to say they were not in the movie was sort of like a waste of time. But certain other things that we don't know anything about, I can understand not wanting to leak. Like for example, I don't want leaked gameplay of certain games or certain movies. But like me knowing that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the movie would not have deterred me from going to the movie. It
Right.
actually would have had me bust down the door even faster to go see the movie.
Right. And yes, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were definitely in this movie. So that
Yeah.
that again, that literally out there lying to us. Like Tobey Maguire wasn't because no one was trying to interview, but
Andrew
Andrew
Garfield
Garfield
was.
lying for a whole year. Him and Charlie I'm like, who was lying the most about this? Between the two
Guys, I
between the
have no
two of them.
idea. I'm not in the movie. Yes, you are. Stop fucking lying.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, before we get that one is the one we're going to talk about the most. But before we get to that, the other aspects of the movie that I thought were awesome. Ned is a fucking wizard. Ned's a wizard.
Yep. Ned the Wizard. That sounds like some fucking funny spoof superhero. Ned the Wizard.
My dog picked up the fucking what was it, the transport, whatever that ring is called, and
Yeah.
did his thing. I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. So of course, he's going to be become a bad guy and fight Spider-Man eventually. So
Yeah.
we, I like that a lot. Excuse me. Um, the whole bit with Doctor Strange. I was like, Doctor Strange, why are you such a dick? Like he's not just been like he wants to be nice to Peter, but also he's just kind of a dick
Can't,
about things.
can't.
But
Okay.
to be fair to him, in some ways he was like, well, you wanted me to brainwash the world instead of just call them and ask and ask them about college.
Yeah. Because that's all he literally had to do. But fortunately, it kind of what he did get them into college. But I do have a crazy conspiracy theory about why I think Doctor Strange was like that about this whole entire movie. I think Doctor Strange, and this leads into sort of may not sort of spoiling the end, but I think Doctor Strange has like sort of like a connection of multiverses of himself fucking shit up.
Hmm.
So he was very adamant about it. Because usually Doctor Strange is not like this. But I feel like something in his mind was like, this shit needs to stop. And it's because his other universal selves have destroyed universes because of a mistake that he's made.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think could be. I think the thing is that Doctor Strange is, he can't ever hang up his Sorcerer Supreme thing, even though technically he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore
Yeah.
on Earth. But he did this thing, and apparently one thing that apparently sorcerers and Harry Potter wizards have in common is casually using ridiculously powerful magic for stupid shit.
Yeah.
And so this world alter, brainwashing spell essentially that then gets fucked up by the stupidest thing. Like it gets messed up just because Peter keeps telling him, "Oh, fix this." I'm like, why don't you just stop doing the fucking spell and then get the full parameters first? But reasons. And he messes it. He's like, "You messed up my spell," and I'm thinking like, aren't you the sorcerer supreme? Why would some 16-year-old bothering you while you're casting a spell? Like, don't you have combat casting? Didn't you?
Well,
Did you not take that feat when
well,
you
I think
when you leveled
here's
up?
my little interpretation of it. One, maybe he can't stop it once he starts, and then two, the spell is for Peter. So the more Peter asks, the more the spell change. It's sort of like, for example, I'm like, let's go into D&D terms. I grant a spell.
That's why I said he didn't have combat casting.
No, yeah, but it's like
He
this.
needs
If I
he needs
grant a
he needs spell mastery, combat casting, and concentration.
But it's sort of like let's say I grant a spell, and the spell is supposed to give you whatever you wish for. You know what I mean? So it's like it's my spell, but you are in control of it. Sort of like that. Because it's sort of like at the end of the day, we saw how towards the end Peter had control of the spell. You know what I mean? It's sort of like I think it's because every. I don't think it's maybe it is, but I think it's more of like the more Peter acts, the more the spell started getting corrupted because you're asking for so much that the spell just overload. But who knows? You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it didn't work for reasons. So, um, but yeah, so the whole thing messes up, and then you get like for whatever reason, we're gonna pull in all of these bad guys again for reasons. Like it's
Hmm.
magic. Magic is essentially a black box, and anything you want to happen is gonna happen because of magic. Okay, it's hard to believe the Sorcerer Supreme is that bad at magic, but I guess. And I love how he explains it. Now, he clearly had to fight Lizard or whatever later on. Um, how he explains everything that's going on, and it's all
Lizard, by the way, the lizard fucked him up.
yeah. But it's Doctor Strange. He's not terrible at his job, except when he's trying to cast a spell that opens the multiverse. And I love the fact that in a way, it's weird that this movie is a prequel to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness because it is almost literally explaining why Multiverse of Madness is a thing. You know.
Yeah.
Um, that said, I think it's very fun that they're just like, let's just pull in all of these bad guys. You know, even towards the end when they're like when the multiverses were all coming in, and you saw silhouettes of the bad guys that we know. Like if you look if you're a real one, a real Spider-Man fan, you recognize some of those silhouettes, right? You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
oh shit, some of these things are gonna come through, and it didn't, but still, I
Yeah.
which was it's very inspired. I thought, I love the idea that when they were putting this story together, they were like, we need to rehabilitate some of this shit. Like some of this shit's awesome, like Doctor Octopus and uh, Green Goblin, but we need to rehabilitate some things that should be awesome in the way they weren't executed awesomely. And so you get Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, and you know what? And as much as I, I think I told you this when I was texting you earlier in the week. I just watched Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 for the first time uh,
Hmm.
last week, and I liked them both. And in fact, unpopular opinion, I really liked Amazing Spider-Man too. As much as Electro was terrible, he was not good. As much as I thought he wasn't good, I still really liked that movie. So seeing Electro basically get fixed, he comes to a new universe now. He's kind of cool, and he's more like the Electro I think he should be, as opposed to the one whatever weirdo one that they made in Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then they literally fixed them all. I kind of love the way that they the whole idea of fixing them before sending them back so that they don't die is such a Peter Parker thing to do.
The fact that uh, Electro fucking foreshadowed Miles Morales.
Yeah.
and
Was
and
there
he
a,
said,
now was there applause in there's applause in a lot of places. Was there applause right there when he said that?
was there a pause? Oh,
Well, yeah,
applause? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Good. What he said. I thought you were black, man.
It's like there's got to be a black
There got to be a
Spider-Man
black
somewhere.
Spider-Man
And they were like,
somewhere.
yeah, and
Mhm.
that's the thing about this. And you were saying before there was a lot of people just like clapping and everything. Yeah, hell yeah, there was. There was a lot of that. That's the kind of movie this was. Um, so I love seeing Electro back. I'm glad we did not see Rhino because he was. Ugh.
Leave him alone.
I wish we had seen Goblin, Dane DeHaan's Goblin, because they were like, it pulled in people that knew who he was. And I'm like, so you brought in Electro but didn't bring Goblin? Okay. Because you got a better Goblin. By the way, fucking Willem Dafoe
Oh my
was
God.
going
S tier.
off. He was going off in this movie. Look, Goblin is the greatest Spider-Man villain of all time. Agreed?
Yep.
I'm just like, if you say otherwise, I'm like, you're wrong. He's the greatest Spider-Man villain of all time. And they managed to elevate him even more in this movie. How did they do that? Everyone already thought he was the greatest from the Spider-Man movies. They elevated him. Willem
Yep.
Dafoe came in, put in work. He went to work. He came in and he went to work. And was just, he was the number one villain for a reason in this
Yep.
movie.
Oh my goodness, man.
Absolutely killed
Jesus
it.
Christ. Man, the
Just
whole movie, I'm just going like, damn. I was like, I kept telling like they were watching the movie. I'm like, I was like, Spider-Man, stop! Do not fight the Goblin hand to hand.
Oh
That
yeah,
man was ripping him through the whole
he
apartment,
was
boy.
beating his
God.
ass. He was beating his ass, floor to floor. Like
Oh my
I'm
God.
sitting there watching. I'm watching and I'm thinking like, God damn, he leveled up. Like Goblin level. He leveled up in this bitch. Like I love it. You know what the other thing I liked about there's a lot of meta in this movie. There's a lot
Hmm.
of meta commentary, and I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I love the part where you know, Electro's like, say you gotta watch where you fall. 'Cause I love that they brought back Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. Love that.
Yep. They,
Absolutely
they
love
they
that.
didn't miss a like I said, this movie was everything that I said I would love for them to do, they did. They didn't miss a damn beat. Like this movie, oh man, William Defoe's fucking like his God, the God. It's like you said, he was good at the Goblin before, but this was like Oscar level performance. This is like fucking
He
Heath Ledger's Joker. Like
he took
God,
as they say, he took a level in badass. And
yes,
or as the kids like to say nowadays, he understood the assignment. This guy, he knew what they were asking for. I will also shout out Alfred Molina. A fucking excellent as Dr. Octopus. As not just two Dr. Octopus impressions. One with the evil tentacles, and one where
mm-hmm,
he's Dr. Octopus, like we knew at the beginning of
yep,
Spider-Man 2. So he was
yep,
excellent. Um, I, especially toward the end where he's like, I'm on the bad guy side, except I'm not. Give me that damn arc reactor. And also, fucking Electro taking a level in badass with the arc reactor. I was like, what? Electro with the arc reactor?
mhm,
Oh,
yeah,
it's fucking it's over, y'all.
yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for this man like this. He was that made that last 30 minutes ridiculous. It was such a good
Man,
fight. The whole J even let's give shout out to J.K. Simmons.
yeah.
Just channeling the spirit of comic book J. Jonah Jameson. I mean, it's ridiculous. I never realized how much comic book J. Jonah Jameson was essentially one of these QAnon, internet pundits. I didn't realize that until I saw J.K. Simmons doing it on, and I was like, "Fuck that! You could not be more on point with that. Just
Yep.
just killing the game."
There's a reason why he is now the permanent voice
Yeah, yeah,
of J.K. Simmons.
yeah.
I
It's
mean, J. Jonah Jameson. He's in the video game, the cartoon, and now in the
yeah.
movies. He is the voice of J. Jonah Jameson.
He's just so good. I already gave a shout. Zendaya and Jacob Batalon were great. I loved the scene with the grandmother. My God, was that fucking hilarious.
That
This movie is funny as is actually funny as shit. There's a lot
yeah.
of funny stuff in it, which is weird considering. And now this is more of a down note, not because it sucked, but because it sucked that it happened. Shout out to Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. Oh my
Jesus.
God, that was. I'm not.
I
I
didn't
ain't.
see
I
that coming.
look. I ain't gonna lie. Had tears in my eyes.
Yeah,
Not
I
even
didn't.
gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, man. I didn't see her dying. I thought Ned was gonna die. I thought Ned was going to die. I didn't think because I knew he will
Somebody
have to
else. Yeah.
face loss. He will
Yeah.
have to face loss to fully become Spider-Man. But I didn't think it would be um Aunt May.
Did you
I didn't think it.
did you think that Aunt May was going to be his Uncle Ben? Because that's what she was. The Uncle
Yeah,
Ben moment.
because
The Uncle Ben moment. Everyone was like, "Where is it? Where is it for Tom Holland Spider Man?" He got it,
yeah,
and it was devastating. I mean, like, to me, that hurt almost as much as Tony. That
yeah.
for me watching that, I was like, that is almost Tony Stark dying.
Because they made it seem like she was fine. Like they made fucking Kevin Feige. You made it seem like she was fine. Then when she collapsed, and then I was like, oh no.
And by the way, apparently that's a real thing.
Yeah,
Apparently that's a real thing where you can have such devastating internal injuries that shock kicks in so fast you don't know you're hurt
yeah,
until you just like lose it. And just those last words to him and talking about, telling him, you did the right thing and don't, basically, I forgive you. We did what was right. And kind of instilling in him that whole great power, great responsibility thing, which gets a callback later on. I will say one of my few criticisms of the movie is so soon after that we get comedic stuff, and I'm like, I get it, but like y'all for real just killed off the best Aunt May. And again, fight me. She's the best Aunt May, straight
yeah.
up.
I mean, yeah,
And
she is. She
so now
is.
y'all just killed the best Aunt May, and it was brutal, and it was emotional and everything, and then you're gonna go into joking, and I'm like, ugh, give me a
I
minute,
feel like
give me a minute, give me a minute on that.
I feel like they made up for it later on because now we need to talk about it.
Hmm.
The way
Let's slide into it. The way they brought those guys.
it was fucking exactly how I wanted it to happen. That what's his name? Andrew Garfield is just randomly just in his spot. Like this is exactly what I thought this is how I envisioned it. Andrew Garfield is randomly just walking around as Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire is dressed up like a regular guy and just says, "Hey guys," that's exactly how I was like, "This is how they're gonna. This is exactly how they're gonna bring it in." God, I was just like, because when he said, "Wait, is there another Peter Parker?" I was like, "Andrew," I said, "No, Tobey Maguire, yes."
Let me tell you, this is in the theater now. Again, it's theater full of people, and most of them know what's going on, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
just waiting for it. We're just waiting for it. So they're like, find Peter. And the portal opens, and and I'm telling you, as soon as people recognize that was Andrew Garfield's suit, they're like, yeah. I'm telling you, so many people were just like, we were clapping and everything. And he comes through, And you're like, wait, you're not Peter Parker. Like, who the hell are you guys? And then they open another one, and then you see just a guy in regular clothes step through, and you're like, Tobey Maguire. And my God, I'm telling you that my nerd heart grew three sizes too big. I'm telling you, my little Grinch heart grew up just because I was like, fuck, I forgot I loved you guys. Now, I
Yeah.
mean, like, Andrew Garfield, again, he's very recent for me, and I love those movies. So I was like, yeah, but I forgot that about Tobey, because I haven't seen the
Oh,
Tobey Maguire
Maguire.
Spider-Man. I haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and let me tell you, we were talking about it afterwards. Jen was like, "I need to watch Spider Man again." The Spider Man. She's like, "I just want to watch those again," and I was like, "You right? There ain't no, you
Yep.
show me. You know that meme. Show me where the lie is. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, because it makes me, God, bro, they didn't miss a beat. Like they didn't miss a damn beat. It's been almost what, 14 years since
No,
Toby's been
yeah,
Spider Man.
hmm
He has not missed a
he's
beat,
still
and I'm just
yeah.
sitting there, God, and I'm just like, listen, their whole like the three Spider-Man's whole entire banter, the way they had to huddle up, they were like, hold up. He was like,
What
yeah, he was like, hold up, what are we going out there? Yeah, man, because we suck at this.
did somebody pointed out something that they did the Spider Man pointing from the animated. Remember the animated Spider Man
Yeah.
thing where the
Oh yeah,
pointing
when they
thing
pointed at each other, yeah.
they did a pointing thing. And I was like, you motherfuckers are like, you guys think you're funny. Y'all are doing they were doing all of that stuff. Yo,
They were doing the back reference. Oh my back.
yeah, they did that. They were like brothers, you know? And you realize, like, oh yeah, well, Tobey Maguire is the more biology nerd Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Andrew Garfield's a little more, he's a little more of the no, he's more of the biology. And the engineer was kind of like Tom Holland, and like, what I'm saying, like they each have their own little thing. They knew how to handle their you know, particular bad guys and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, in this one, the Goblin becomes uh, uh, um, he becomes Tom Holland's bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Because he kills Aunt May, and and I loved, because this was not a quick cameo thing. They were in the movie, they were characters in the movie, and so you get to catch up on old friends, like what's happened to y'all since then, and you see they're older. They're both older than Tom Holland's Spider Man,
Yeah.
and they get to be like, hey, I went down the wrong road here. Things
Yeah.
happen, and I lost somebody. You know, I I made some bad decisions. I all that, and they sit their wealth of experience, where they're able to sort of compare notes. And you know what? That is straight out of the Spider-Verse comic books, where there's a bunch of Spider-Man. They're able to sort of talk with each other and compare what happened to each other. And they all know we're all Spider-Man. We all go through things.
Yep.
It's not exactly the same thing. I love that
And
brothers
you
vibe.
know what else I loved about it? It just wasn't them teaching Tom Holland. Like you said, they teach each other. Like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going through depression. Like he is having a hard time dealing through his pain. He feels that he's a terrible person. Like he's a terrible hero. He's bad. Tobey Maguire had to tell him, "You're not lame. You're amazing. Tell
Exactly.
yourself that." You know what I mean? And he's telling himself how he will never find love, and Tobey Maguire's like, "Give it time. You'll find it."
Yeah, he's like,
And it
we
just,
fixed. Yeah, me and MJ, we fixed it. You'll find your MJ. I love the fact that the normal dick measuring that you would get in these things wasn't dick measuring. They were just kind of like, oh well, I went to space and stuff. They're like, you went to space? I don't need to hear more about this. He's like, oh man, I just fought a dude in a tank armor or something like that, and they're like, no, you're still good, man, dude. I
I just loved it. He's like, "So you're just gonna gloss over that you
yeah,
went to
you
space?"
It's like I fought an alien too. Yeah, in space, and that, he's like, yeah, I was in the Avengers. I know how to do teamwork, and they're like, that's great. I love
Hey,
that. That was the answer. That's great.
that's
What's
great.
the Avengers?
What's the Avengers? What's the Avengers? And the whole part of them like being intrigued with Tobey Maguire can make his own webbing. He's like,
They're like,
how? He's like, I don't really want to talk about it. No, you have to talk about it because we can't do this.
oh, it's like I said, the writers of this movie, they knew what they were supposed to do. It wasn't just it's fan service, meta commentary. So a lot of the things we've
Mhm.
been saying over the years,
Yep.
they said they just came out and said it, right?
Yep.
And you know what? What they did, the thing they did the most was making you not love Spider-Man again, but making the way that that Loki and Avengers Endgame and everything sort of made you look at Thor the Dark World a little differently, you look back, you're like, wait a minute. Now that I look at it from this way, no, it makes you look at some of these so-called bad entries in Spider-Man in a different light. And it reminds you of what you loved about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
I.
and it just and not only that, it's like they took all of that you loved about all three of the Spider-Man and they jammed them all together at the end to be this badass super group that goes and fights these guys. They fight
Yep.
ridiculous bad guys.
And I called it too. Once again, picked up the phone because I called this. Remember we talked about this. I knew it that Toby and Andrew were going to keep Tom Holland's Peter Parker from making the mistakes they did. He stopped. He was able. Andrew Garfield saved not Mary Jane, MJ.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
Okay, I'm paused. You brought that up. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about that save. I had heard somebody talk about, oh, he's going to save MJ from falling,
yeah,
and he did it. And in so doing, forgave himself for not
self.
for not saving Gwen.
Yep.
And I just want to say this. Andrew Garfield in this particular part of the movie, I think was the best Spider-Man in terms of his acting. He had
Yeah.
he that guy he the way he acted throughout that of saving her of and the he's like, I got this, right?
Yeah.
And the way earlier when he was talking about Gwen and everything, I think in terms of acting, he did uh the most good. And I love that part where he saved MJ. And she was like, are you okay?" And
And he's like, yeah, he was able to finally forgive himself. And then Tobey Maguire stopping him from killing the goblin. I was like, yes. If and then it's such symbolism because he was able to right his wrong. He was able to stop what caused the rift. He was able to because that caused the rift between him and Harry and what led to Harry dying.
right,
Him saving because that's his biggest every it was such great symbolism. Each Peter Parker stopped him from making stop I mean both Peter Parker stopped Andrew Garfield from making his greatest mistake, but at the same time they were able to forgive themselves from their greatest mistakes.
hmm
You know what I mean?
yeah,
He was able to what's his name was able to save Mary MJ, which forgave himself and him stopping Tom Holland from killing the Goblin because the Goblin that death was his greatest mistake.
right.
You know what I mean? And it was just such great symbolism. And then the fake out to make us think that he was going to die. But then, part of my soul's like, I've seen him get stabbed. Hey.
It's like, oh, I've been stabbed before. It's fine. I'll be okay. And
Yeah.
then and they
He was
and
like,
they
am I dying or am I actually seeing it or is this actually happening? Oh, this is actually happening.
and that's the thing is that entire sequence, that entire final act was the most Spider-Man thing possible to sacrifice his own happiness, his own future in order to save people who are trying to kill him. You know, every single one of the bad guys got fixed or cured or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we're able now when they send them back, they're able to go back and then their new timeline, which of course we know the multiverse, we know Loki and everything.
Hmm.
When they go back, they are not going back to the same universe that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's respective Spider-Mans are going to. They're going to an alternate one where they're into the past and they're starting new branch timelines where that Spider-Man doesn't have to kill them. Or they don't have
Yep.
to die at the hands of that Spider-Man. And so, the hope springs eternal that now they've seen, the error of their ways. They go back. Hopefully they don't go back and be like, I'm going to do it differently this time. Or if they do say I'm doing it differently, the differently is not fucking with Spider-Man. So,
Yep.
and so, like I said, one of the most Spider-Man things possible, especially in the fact that he realizes to keep all of those, and that spell gets loose, and then potentially limitless alternate universe bad guys are coming to fuck up the main MCU, and he sacrifices every bit of not of happiness he could ever have, if anybody ever knowing who he was, in order to save the universe,
Yep.
and in so doing, basically resets the whole status quo back to the beginning.
Yep.
He's the Spider-Man we all know, which is poor, on his own, no backup, trying to do the right thing, trying to make his way in the world.
Yep.
And in a key way, he chooses not to let his best friend and his girlfriend know who he is, and instead to go out and let them have their own lives. Which we know that shit ain't gonna last, right? We know that's not gonna last,
Yep.
right? They're coming back,
Yep. Oh
but
yeah.
for the time being, status quo has been reset. Uh, I
Which I, in my opinion, some people don't like it, but I kind of like this because this brings the Spider-Man that a lot of people are sort of comfortable with. He doesn't have superhero friends to protect him from his mistakes. He doesn't have you see what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have like people to just like he just can't call up the Avengers to fix his mistakes. He doesn't have all these people to just right his wrongs. He needs to now do it himself and do right. He's living on his own, and hopefully his landlord was Mister What's his name, Genovich or something.
Yeah, something like
Hope so. So he has. I hope he has to fix the damn door meme.
that. Yeah,
But man, like this movie makes me want. I want to see an Andrew Garfield movie. I want to see a sequel to the Andrew Garfield movies now.
absolutely.
I want to see a sequel to Tobey Maguire. Like this movie, like when I just said earlier in this podcast, the future of Spider-Man is not bright. It is a fucking supernova. It is the possibilities are literally never ending. They pretty much confirmed Miles Morales because, bruh, who knows? The Spider-Man might show up in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Who knows?
There's a good chance of that happening. I mean, he like I said, he's back to back to friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Everything he does doesn't destroy the world or not. He's going to be fighting low level things. He could be swinging around Hell's Kitchen, running in a Daredevil.
Yep.
There's all sorts of possibilities here, and I'll tell you what, I'm there for it. I do want to see a sequel to. I want to see Amazing Spider-Man 3. I will gladly see an old man Spider-Man. Possibly with his daughter that's a web crawler also.
Yep.
I'll be down with that. Whatever. We saw like in the post credits, Venom was briefly in the MCU, and then he left a little bit of Venom. Maybe we'll see the black suit on Tom Holland in the next
Yeah.
outing. All that was it's just awesome.
Yep.
One last bit, we've got to talk about that it's a trailer. That post credit, it was a trailer, right?
Yep.
Related to this movie only in the sense that it is a trailer for a Multiverse of Madness. Oh my God! Did they need to see? Sometimes I feel like now you just running the score up. Now y'all are just you won the game. You're up by 20 points. Oh, but you got to put your starters in so they can pad their so they can pad their numbers. Okay. Evil Strange. It's not Strange Supreme, all of you. It's not him. Uh Go watch the end of What If episode 9. I think it's 9. Yeah. Season finale. It's not Strange Supreme. But Multiverse of Madness and What If, obviously they are related, right? They're
Hmm.
obviously related. If that's Strange Supreme, it's a variant of the one we know from the show. But we see a lot going on in there. They fight whatever that thing. Is it Shumagorath? I doubt it. Some way people want to say it. I still think it's Gargantos or whatever from that Lego set. We see he goes and recruits Wanda. I've heard that Wanda's supposed to be the bad guy in this thing. But as far as we can see, evil Doctor Strange, right? Wanda as the Scarlet Witch. They're traveling the multiverse with America Chavez, right? I
Hmm.
mean, it's not coming out till May. God dang it. We're gonna. I I'm just like y'all. You're running the score up. I'm just finished being hyped as hell about Spider Man, and now y'all throw that shit on top of it too. So,
Yes. All I know is that I know it is. We're gonna get an Into the Spider Verse sequel, like live action movie like this, like No Way Home. We're gonna get another one. We're gonna get another one. We're gonna see the boys come back together, probably with a fourth, with Miles probably show up, maybe Spider Gwen, which will be fucking awesome.
hell
By the
yeah.
way, that would be
Unfortunately,
fucking
yeah,
awesome.
they're gonna have to cast somebody for that because Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop. She can't be Spider Gwen also, but
Well,
I,
it's a multiverse, so she can
I
be.
I I
Who
think
knows?
I think it's obvious though that everything's on the table. At this point, everything has to be on the table.
Yes, everything.
Like three four
Venom,
three four
Spider
years
Man's
three
gonna
four
get the
years ago,
Venom
yeah,
suit.
3 4 years ago, I would not have believed what we just saw. But literally anything's possible at this point. You know
Yeah,
why?
at this
You know
point, yeah.
you know why? Because Marvel will back that dump truck of cash at anybody's feet and be like, come do this. And you know what? No, more to the point. They have reached the point of cultural penetration that they can ask anybody. I'm telling you, I've been looking at. We're not going to talk about the news, but I'm telling you, they're talking about that Kevin Feige's talking to Eddie Murphy, to Wesley Snipes about coming back for Blade, to Hugh Jackman that Michael B. Jordan might be coming back to Black Panther. They're not. Look, they're at the point where anybody. There's going to be somebody. I saw this on Twitter. Someone's like, one day you're going to look at a list of actors and wonder who hasn't been in the MCU. Not who has, who hasn't.
Yeah, who has not want to join? Which I hope to pray to God, this one actress stay as far the fuck away, please. Kevin Feige, do not go to this woman. Beyonce wants to be Storm. Stay as far fuck away. No, 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 Storm. No, Beyonce.
Yeah.
But yes, I will. It's and to be honest with you, man, multiverses are sort of like it's like a sort of the new thing that's in. It's like a celebration. We all know one of the first people to do this was, Nintendo, what they did with Smash Brothers, bringing all these characters from all their franchises into one game as a celebration. Now there's sort of a hint that Sony's going to do one with their video games of like a Sony verse, I mean a PlayStation verse video game. Spider-Man has their own multiverse. Marvel's doing this multiverse. There's hints that DC's about to do a multiverse.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
it's in that fucked up that they got beat to the punch on multiverse. Like they
yeah,
literally like teased it
created it.
all the way
Yeah.
back in Justice League, and that's what you snooze, you lose. That
Yeah, you
that
snooze,
that
you lose.
yeah. Let me just say, Marvel's a machine. They make it happen. It's
All I know is that with Marvel, I'm revigorated into what's going to happen in Marvel. DC, I'm sorry. Throw your most extravagant shit at the wall. At this point, don't be scared to spray your shotgun. Because at this point, you just can't be conservative. Because my God, if what we saw this weekend, DC, I'm excited for Batman, but homeboy, mm, I'm just saying, DC, you're gonna have to throw some shit at the wall. You just can't come up with just the regular stuff anymore because Marvel is about to do shit that, like you said, that we thought was impossible. Who thought that 3 Spider-Men that we saw this? We thought we will never see Tobey Maguire put on that suit ever again,
yeah,
and he just did it. And not only did Marvel hint at it, it is not just a hint. It is probably going to happen. He's going to put the suit back on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and now we're getting Miles Morales. I mean, God, Marvel, just stop. At this point, do you want to see me die of a nerdgasm? Because that's probably what they want. That's probably what they want. You know,
we
because
we
if I see live action Spider Ham, I don't know what the fuck I'll
we
do. You
we've
know,
just arrived at a point where we can't be surprised about what we get.
yep.
You thought y'all really thought Marvel was playing when they started being like, yeah, we're gonna do Moon Knight and we're gonna do, and they started rattling. At this point, if they announced a Spider Ham live action movie, I wouldn't even be surprised. Not only
Yep.
wouldn't I be surprised, I'd be like, well, I'm going to see that day one. Like they are literally. I'm telling you, we were talking about this before. We're at the point where they are literally flipping through back issues, being like, who can we put in here? Who can? All right, you get a series. You get a series. You get a series. Everyone gets everyone. You might even get a movie. I mean, I don't. I'm not shitting on DC, but like let me tell you something. DC and DC fans, there's no reason y'all shouldn't be doing whatever. With
Yep.
the goofiest shit that you have in DC, there's no reason for it. Because we literally just watched a movie where 3 different Spider-Man who don't look anything alike from different universes
Mhm.
with different rules coexisted, made $253 million in the US over one weekend. That's the world we live in. And if you're going to tell me that people don't want to see anything except Batman and Batman related shit, no wonder you motherfuckers aren't winning. No wonder you're not winning. You don't have the
Yep.
balls to be playing in this field. If you don't have the nuts to get out there and see all the good, because that's the thing. DC has goofy ass shit that'll be fun as shit to see on the screen. They've got that, but they don't have the nuts to actually do it, and that's unfortunate because there's no reason we should be in a world where Marvel is the only game in town. There's no reason for
Yep.
that. They've got all the IP. They just need the fucking courage to just take a chance on this. You know. Anyway, we'll talk about that
Yep.
later. We'll talk about that later on. There are some developments for DC. We'll talk about that on the next episode. So, man, we've talked a long time about this. We could keep going on. You know, we got to see. We both got to see it again. I think. But we could talk
Yep.
about it some more. We'll talk.
Oh,
We'll
Jesus
talk about.
Christ.
Well, I think
I might
we'll.
watch it on
Yeah.
Christmas. Might
We.
go to Christmas.
But we're gonna come back and talk about this some more, especially the ramifications for the industry and for movies and what's the future for the MCU and everything, the Spider Man, all that stuff. We're gonna be talking about this for months and years ahead. We have to be. So, all right. Well,
Hmm.
we loved it. Go out there and see that movie. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know what you think about our comments. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, you can hit us up, supernotfunnyshow at gmail.com, at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we'll chop it up, talk about Spider Man. And while you are in the mood to be clicking, get down to there and hit that join button. Join the Super Not Funny Show family. We'd love to have you talking about all this comic book nerdy stuff. And of course, you can always hit the notification bell to let you know when we drop more content. And of course,
Hmm.
the Super Not Funny Show Supercast is it just wouldn't be the same if we didn't have our good friend Ladi letting us know about how he feels about all this comic book stuff. So, Ladi, where can they find you on social media?
Oh yeah, guys, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. Just got in contact with an artist, so I might have some custom art coming up onto my Instagram soon. And also, that means I can have some custom art for my YouTube channel as well. So keep an eye out for that. Didn't stream this week. Kind of was a little busy. Um, so hopefully I can stream again. I kind of this Spider-Man movie has messed me up. I kind of don't think I want to Guardians. I want to play Guardians of the Galaxy, but now I just want to do Spider-Man shit. I just want. I kind of.
It's like in on the next stream, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
If I kind of just feel like just playing any Spider-Man everything now. Like God, like. But
Spider-Man
yeah, you,
Shattered Dimension.
Spider. So yeah, if you can find me on my YouTube channel, KeeneyHoon25. But yeah, guys, man, I enjoyed my time on this. Please, if you're really at the end of this and you're considering it, please watch that movie. Great movie. Probably one of the best. Probably one of the. Actually, I won't say probably. It was the best movie this year. It was the best movie this year. Man.
Strong words.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there. I mean, there's I think I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. It's pretty close. So,
I'm trying to remember what movie did come out this year. What other movie?
oh, I mean, gosh, we talking about superhero stuff. Oh,
Yeah, like
it's definitely the best superhero movie this year.
oh yeah, best superhero. Like I meant superhero movie. Like it's the best superhero movie this year.
Yeah,
I didn't mean like overall, but superhero movie, best superhero
yeah,
movie this year.
definitely the best superhero movie. So, all right, you guys, y'all check out Lottie's socials. Show them some love, y'all. All right, so that does it for episode 31 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us again, and come back next week, probably 5 or 6 days. We'll talk about that Hawkeye finale, all that good stuff. Until then, I've been Mole Poupée, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the video game designer, anime expert, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.